Hello there, how are you doing? Career guidance, CMA India, Australia, migration. All right. Question: I am a CMA India certified professional working since 2 years. I would like to migrate to Australia. All right. Now, migration is definitely possible. Make sure you got a finance graduation like BCom. All right. Option one is reaching out to all those Australian companies who got openings and uploading your profiles, all right, or the resume, all right. Typically, companies will sponsor your work visas, all right, especially if you have a very impressive resume with significant industry experience. Now, how do you find jobs in Australia? We will discuss that shortly. Option two is get the work visa via sponsorship through your relative or contact who is already settled in Australia. That's also possible. All right. Now, when you say you want to migrate to Australia, be prepared to settle down in Australia. All right. The first 3 years of your work life in Australia pretty much will go smooth, and you have to settle in Australia. Now, after say 8 years or so, you think that you want to go back home, return for good, and settle in India for some reasons like your parents or culture or whatever. It's not going to be good. It's going to be very challenging because the financial systems in India and Australia are completely different. So, whatever work experience, knowledge that you gathered so far, like 8 years or 10 years or whatever, is of no use when you come back to India. All right. So, it's going to be a reboot, like you restart your life, or I mean, restart your career in India. It's not going to be interesting. All right. It's not worth actually. So, make sure you take a decision. When you say you are migrating, you are going to settle down in Australia. Now, what if you can't find something in Australia? Don't be disappointed. New Zealand as well as Singapore are also widely accepting Indians. Widely accepting Indians, all right? And they are looking for Indians in finance, administration, and management um, areas, all right? So, so with that, I pretty much given you the answer for the questions. And now let's move on. I would like to share with you some of the related videos. These two videos, it's all about part one and part two is all about how to do CMA. All right. Now you may want to share with someone of looking for details. All right. And the other two, which is these two are um, uh, these two are about how to travel abroad and find and do your masters or how to find a job. All right. So I'm just sharing with you because you may find some interesting information because you also like to migrate or travel. All right. So you can watch this video, in the, not the whole video. You can actually slide it and watch the part where it discuss about traveling or migrating and all that stuff. All right. Moving on. Additional details. Now, how do you find jobs in Australia? You could use job search websites, alright? These are the websites widely used in Australia. You can also go to the companies and upload your resume, alright? The third option is recruitment agencies. You can use these agencies, alright? Reach out to them, send your resume, they will find you a job. Now, networking. This is the one I was talking about. If you got friends, family, former colleagues, etc., settled in Australia since long time, they could find you a employer and who can sponsor you a work visa. Government job boards is another one. Make use of this platform also. And social media, which is LinkedIn and Twitter, there also you can find jobs. All right. So I have six of them. So definitely you can. There are six different ways. Definitely you can find a way to find jobs in Australia, and you will find one, especially if your resume is very appealing to them. All right. Now migration to Australia. Typically, these are government steps. All right, and the migration steps or immigration steps. The first one is you will apply for a visa category, which in your case it is skilled migration is the type. Now they will check your eligibility thoroughly, all right, qualification, work experience, all that stuff. And once you pass through that, then you have to submit a EOI, which will further ask your personal and professional details. And finally, they'll send you an invitation to apply for the visa. All right. Then the processing happens. You are in the waiting stage. Then once it's approved, you're ready to move. All right. And you need to take care of all these aspects. All right. Then you land in Australia and start your life. Now, work sponsorship for getting a work visa. How does that work? Well, you need to find a sponsor. Your friend or colleague or whatever, whoever staying there, have to find a sponsor that they are knowing, that they are aware of, to with whom they worked before, and they will share your resume and try to convince them. And if they are happy, they will sponsor your work visa. All right. And this employer should be a approved sponsor by the government. Now the remaining steps are eligibility checking. All right. That means once a sponsor find you a work visa, you need to also match the requirement of the government for that work visa. All right, with respect to your experience and qualifications. Then you will apply for the visa, provide all the documents, waiting time, it is approved, you're ready to go. All right. So I hope we covered a good amount of information for you to get started. All right. We are done. Disclaimer. All the best.